Welcome to my first crochet tutorial of the year. It's now 2020, which is weird to say. And it's February. January went by way too darn fast. I had intended to put this out earlier, but I'm just now getting around to it. I am going to show you how I block crochet things that I've made. This particular example uses crochet thread and not yarn. I find that most of the things I make with yarn don't need blocking, at least not like this intense. But when I made this, it does require it. I made this last year for my mom, and I blocked it once, and only these two stayed flat. The other feathers curled up again. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I block it, and then when everything's all dry and done, I will show you how I use fabric stiffener on stubborn crochet that curls back up. So let's get started on this. Sorry for the camera moving. I'm actually hand holding it this time. So this one here I have pinned, but the first step you do is you wet your feathers. And I'm using a blocking board. This one that I'm actually using is from, well, when I bought it, I got it at Goodwill for like $1.19 or something like that. But I found this one at Michael's. It's this brand here. Same exact one that I found at the Goodwill. And it was in plastic just like this. But I got another board because some pieces are bigger. And I have some other things I'm making that I need 2 pieces of board for. And it's a 12 by 12 inch square. So let's get started. I'm going to walk you through how I do this, and then you can do it as well. You also need sewing pins or some kind of pin to hold in your work into the board. So this one here, I sprayed, just to let you know the differences. I can hold the dry one right next to it. You can kind of see the color difference and how this is already relaxing. So when you block it and pin it, I do the ends first to kind of stretch it out to get the shape I want. And then I go across here and then the corners and then start filling in and just kind of zigzagging back through. So I would start, I'm going to attempt to do this one-handed with this one here, blocking at the stem. And I go in at an angle to pinch the thread between the needle and the board. And then kind of smooth it out. Again, this is much easier using 2 hands. There we go. And then I'm going to put one here. And one here. And that holds this side down pretty well. I'll come back in with these. Switching hands here. Okay. Now this one here, it's a bit more difficult. You just kind of have to unfurl the curl there. And again, with 2 hands, it's much easier. What you do for the sake of the camera, let's try to be in the frame here. So, push that down. Okay. And then corner as well. Again, add an angle. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the ones on this side here, so before it goes back under. So that's that side, and now I'm going to come in and do the other side. Now when you make this, wait for this to dry, you can wait overnight, you can get a blow dryer, put it in front of a heater, do whatever you need to do to make it dry. But when it does come out, it comes out soft and flat like these. Now these ones here I did a different stitch. That's why these ones are actually still straight. As you can see, these were originally quite curled up as well. They kind of pulled in and had the sides folded over like that. But once it's dry, they stay flat for the most part. Now this particular stitch I used on these was more of a toucan crochet type of stitch, which causes a curl in the fabric that you're making no matter what size piece you have. It's just the nature of the stitch. So in my next video that I do on this project, I will show you how I stiffen it after these are all dry. But the actual act of blocking is just basically wetting your crochet piece and then flattening it out and pinning it down and waiting for it to dry. That's really all there is to it. How many pins you put in kind of depends on your project and how curled it is, how much you want to stretch it out. Because when you wet the fibers, when you wet the material that you're using, the string, whatever kind it is, whether it's cotton or acrylic or wool, the fibers themselves become more malleable, so you could stretch it out. So I did that on another piece of mine that was a bit too tight in some areas, and I wet it, blocked it. Hello, Max. And when I was done, it had more of a straight edge to it instead of a curved in edge that I didn't want. So that's just an example of how I block. And again, I will show you what I do after this process to make sure they stay flat, that I did on another project using feathers as well. So that's this project. I don't have a pattern for the feathers because I made it up. And then this here is actually a Hooked on Sunshine pattern. This one's the Liliana that you can find her on Ravelry and Facebook. I don't think she has YouTube, but those two sites. And this one was a free pattern, but it's for a blanket, not for a dream catcher. I just used the first two parts of it that are in the round part before it squares out. And that, I believe, is a 8-inch hoop that I just sewed it onto the inner hoop to make a dream catcher out of it. So thanks for watching. I hope this helps you. And if you have any questions, put them down in the comments below and I'll get back to you. I actually have a source to get on the internet much better now, so I can answer comments much quicker and easier. So thanks for watching. Hope you stay tuned and check out my video on how I'm going to stiffen the feathers to make them stay straight. See you next time. Bye.